Good evening and welcome to our annual spring concert. This is the king of bands, the 8th grade band. Give them a hand. Oh, come on, be nice. I must say, this is the finest band I have had the pleasure of conducting in my very short career as a band director. Well, here at the middle school. We've got 5 songs for you tonight. I had to give them a 5th one just to keep them busy because they have 8th grade itis. I'm sure you've heard of that, right? Are you seeing symptoms at home? Yes. Our first song is by the late, great Henry Mancini. It's from the movie Hatari, which came out in the early 1960s. It's called The Baby Elephant Walk. So much, and some of you old enough to get the joke remember that ending from vaudeville days, and that ain't all. Our next song features our saxophone section over here. It's an adaptation of the most famous rag by Mr. Scott Joplin, the Ragtime King. It's called originally the Maple Leaf Rag. It was named after a nightclub where he played in Sedalia, Missouri, and it's been adapted for concert band Saxophone Rag. was 1889, and I thought that was old. This is one of the band's favorite songs. I almost got beat up the other day for suggesting that we drop it from the in-school concert, so the flute players and the clarinet players were mad at me. They fell in love with this last year. It was actually in their lesson book. It was composed by a guy named William Billings in the 1700s, and it was sung with his lyrics during the American Revolutionary War, so it's originally a patriotic anthem. It's been repurposed many times through the years by different composers. This one is called Chester Variations by a guy named Elliot Del Borgo. We should have had the band in here cheering for the 8th grade chorus. Reciprocity. Thank you. Excellent job, by the way. Our next song is by the amazing, we went from the King of Ragtime to the March King, John Philip Sousa. Amazingly enough, same year, 1889. This one was written for the newspaper, the Washington Post, to be played at an awards ceremony for their annual essay contest winner. It was commissioned by them. Sousa wrote it for them, and it is rapidly became one of the most popular marches on the planet, still played to this day, hundreds of years later. Thanks.
American Idiot, Wake Me Up When September Ends, and Boulevard of Broken Dreams. If you're a fan of the oh-so-popular Green Day, you'll probably recognize them from their album American Idiot. However, for those of you who have absolutely no clue what I'm talking about, Green Day is a rock group consisting of Billy Joe Armstrong as their singer, Mike Pritchard, or Mike Dirnt as he called, as their bass player, and Frank Edward Wright III, or Tré Cool, as their drummer. They've received 5 Grammys out of 19 nominations, so that's an achievement. So now that you have a bit of background on them, I present to you a mashup of American Idiot, Wake Me Up When September Ends, and Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Yeah, and let's fast forward 100 years. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.